quick. Good evening, good evening. Welcome to the dog how the dog call. This is your host Armondo Black. This is a special breaking news edition of the dog call. Uh, I don't know if some of you have already heard. If you haven't heard by now, you know Carson Beck has changed his mind and decided to enter the transfer portal instead of going into the NFL. And what I'm going to do here today, I'm going to give my reaction on that, and I'm going to lay out some potential destinations for Carson Beck, and what does it mean for Carson Beck? Was it a what I'm going to start off with? Was it a good idea? The risk involved in doing this, and you know, what do you think? You all can leave a comment in the comment section and let me know, what do you think about the move he's made. Hurricane Andrew is very happy. Salute to you. Salute. CP3, salute to you. Salute 225 girl. Salute to you. Salute. King INF 850. Salute to you. Salute Brooklyn Hood. Salute CP3. But CP3, y'all are on the list. Y'all are on the list, believe it or not, as for a potential destination for Carson Beck. But we're gonna Miami is number one. That's the top destination. Florida State was also mentioned as well. Um, Let me first by start off by just I hear what a lot of podcasters, a lot of sports analysts are saying this is a good move. A lot of people are applauding this move. Me personally, I don't think. I think it's too much of a risk. Monetary wise, was it smart? Yes. Financially, will he be getting more money by returning for a 6 year in college? Yes. But it's a roll of the dice, and here's why. He's going to have a season like Cam Ward. He's going to have to come back and put up numbers like Cam Ward did. He's going to have a, yes, sir. He's going to have a season like that. Anything less, if he has anything near what he had this year, if he has that type of season like what he had this year, it's a wrap for his NFL career. He will go from being, because right now, whether you know it or not, he's on Mel Kiper's board. He's still on Mel Kiper's board uh, to be drafted as a late first rounder, early second rounder. Now, that would be a hell of a lot better than taking a chance coming back for a 6 year, not having a good season, and you're in a situation where no one picks you up, where no one drafts you, where your NFL career doesn't doesn't exist. If he is, it will be a lot of pressure. And to be honest with you, I don't think it's good. He's a talented quarterback, and I'm not bashing. I'm not here to defecate on Carson Beck. I'm not bashing him. He has God given talent. He has a cannon for an arm, but he does not handle pressure. He doesn't handle pressure well. And the pressure is going to be on this season. The pressure is going to be on. He will have to come back and put up Cam Ward like numbers. He's going to have to do what Cam Ward did for Miami, and he's going to have to do what Dylan Bell did for Oregon. He's going to have that type of season, like what Bo Nix did for Oregon last year. He's going to have that type of season. When you're transferring around, and let's just be honest, like I said, I'm not bashing him, but this is more about money. This is more about money, because if it wasn't about money, why not come back to Georgia? Why not come back to Georgia? The reason why you're not going to come back to Georgia is because they're not going to pay you. They're not going to break the bank and pay you. And Carson Beck is about this money at the end of the day. It's not about coming back to get developed. I'm just being totally honest. I'm not bashing the kid. This is not about coming back to play another year to be developed and to improve his game. It's about money. He has Lamborghini payments to make. He has a hot model girlfriend that he has to wine and dine and take care of. He has a large overhead now that he has to continue. He got to have money in order to maintain the lifestyle that he's been living for the past 12 and a half months. And he wasn't going to get that payday at Georgia, so he's jumped on in the truck. So if you're not going to stay at Georgia, if it's why not just go in the NFL? Not going to the NFL because he's not confident that he'll go in the early rounds, and that will mess that money up. It's about money. It's a paper chase. It's not about development. It's not about coming back to get better. It's about the paper chase. I'm just being honest. And I don't have anything against Carson Beck. I really don't. Now, some people may say, well, the receivers messed up his year. The bad receiver play by the UGA receivers messed up his season. Let's do the tale of the tape. Let's look at his 2023 numbers and compare them to his 2024 numbers, okay? In 2023, he passed for 3,941 yards. He had a completion rate of 72.4, okay? And he threw 6 interceptions. Six interceptions, okay? And that's with Brock Bowers, Lad McConkey, Rosemary St. Jack, and you also had Kendall Milton and Dejon Edwards as your running backs. So everybody is saying, well, he was missing Bowers, he was missing McConkey, but he still threw 6 interceptions in 2023. And his numbers it wasn't like he, dropped 4,000 yard passing. It was 3,941 yards, which is good, but it's not elite. When I think about elite numbers, I'm looking at the numbers that Cam Ward put up this year. I'm looking at the numbers that Shador put up. I'm looking at the numbers that Dylan Gabriel put up. That's elite to me. This is good. This will get you an NFL contract. This will get you drafted. And I think the hype coming into this year, the hype coming into this season was more about what he could potentially do in 2024. I think a lot of the sports analysts that were grading him so high and declaring him as a Heisman front runner, they were basically doing that, and they were basing it on the fact that his game would improve and he would have a much better season this year. Okay, so let's take a look at 2024. Remember, he passed for 3,941 yards in 2023. They say, oh, in 2024, he had no Brock Bowers. He had no Lamb McConkey. He had terrible receivers. Okay, so in 2024, he passed for 3,485 yards this season. He passed, let me say it again. He passed for 3,485 yards this season. So that's pretty much minus a couple of hundred yards. And you also got to factor in 2023, we played a weak ass schedule. See, a lot of dog casters that are, pro Carson Beck, and like I said, I'm not bashing the kid. I just don't think he is great as a lot of the dog casters are putting him up on a pedestal to be. I never thought he was elite. He's a game manager with a strong arm, with a cannon for an arm. He's a game manager. He's not Aaron Murray. He's not Matthew Stafford. He's not on that level, in my opinion, from my eye test. Okay, so he had 3,941 yards in 2023. He had 3,485 yards in 2024. A couple of hundred yards less. Salute to you, 225 girl. It's rumblings that it could be an OC issue. Most of the guys he started with won't be there, etc. But he would have a stockpile of weapons this year. Exactly. Salute to you, Miss Chicago. And that's the thing about it. It would have made more sense for him if it was about development, getting better, and winning a championship, coming back to winning a championship. The destination would be Georgia. Because look at the weapons that Kirby has loaded up for 2025. These weapons, these are more weapons than what we had in 2021, in my opinion. The only difference between the 2025 and 2021 is Darnell Washington. In my opinion, Darnell Washington and Brock Bowers were better tight ends than Delp and Lucky. But the receivers, this receiver core that's coming in 2025, hell of a better receiving squad than what we had in 2021 and 2022, in my opinion, on paper. Now we got to see if it translates on the field, but on paper, we have weapons coming this year. 225 girl said, if he wants the numbers, he go on to Miami. If he wants the possibility to win the Natty Wednesday, he'll go to OSU or stay at Georgia, or he could go to Bama. Bama's another destination. Jalen Miro is declaring for the NFL. I hear a lot of Bama fans are saying that they would like to have a game manager versus a dual threat quarterback. Bama fans are pretty much, they're hungry for a pro style quarterback. They haven't had a pro style quarterback since Mac Jones in 2020. So Carson Beck, Bama could be a good destination for him. Bama, but I say Miami would be number one because his girlfriend, fiance attends Miami. She plays sports down there in Miami. I think she's on the soccer team, if I'm not mistaken. If there's a Canes fan in the chat, type. If I'm mistaken about that, please type in the chat and let me know. If I'm correct, also type in the chat and let me know. I try to stay on top of these things, but if I'm wrong, then I'll admit I'm wrong. Bama fans don't know anything. We don't want a stiff. We want Bryson Tool type guys. Well, G Bama, you in the minority, brother. Because I'm telling you, I've been listening to some Tide podcasts, several different Tide podcasts. I've actually stepped my foot in and listened, and they would love to have a pro style quarterback because of DeBoer. DeBoer's system is more tailor made for a pro style type quarterback. Remember, you don't have Sarkeesian anymore. You don't have Lane Kiffin anymore as your OC. You got DeBoer running things over there now, and his system is more. It works better under a pro style type quarterback. So don't be surprised, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you right now. You heard it first. January the 9th, 2025. Don't be surprised if you see Carson Beck in a Tide uniform come September. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Penix was not dual. G Bama, I don't consider Penix dual threat. Penix was more of a pocket passer, pro style quarterback, in my opinion. Ty and Keelan are not. Ty and Keelan are not pro style. We'll see. Hey, don't shoot the messenger, G Bama. Don't shoot the messenger, man. But your fellow Tide fans are they want a pro style quarterback. They want a pro style quarterback. Um, Kangaroo Black even had it in his title. The day that Milroe declared for the NFL, he was like, Milroe is gone, and now let's get a pro style quarterback. That's Kangaroo Black saying that, a diehard Bama fan. So, hey, I'm just saying, don't be surprised. But I think he'll end up in Miami, and I think that will be a good fit for the simple fact. And Bama, I think the system would fit him, but the problem with Carson Beck is he's stiff. I agree with you, G Bama. He's stiff. He's not mobile, and in order to survive in the SEC as a quarterback, these defenses, you have linebackers and safeties running a 4-4-3, 4-4, 4-5. Do you have fast linebackers in the SEC? You have to have a mobile quarterback in the SEC. You need a mobile quarterback. And Carson Beck's style of quarterback play is not it's not going to work in the SEC. It's not going to if you if you're in the situation. Salute to you, Common Sense TV. Carson Beck, and let me just say this to all the Georgia fans: say, "Oh, you bash on Carson Beck." No, I'm not. No, I'm not. You're getting facts confused with bashing. And the truth is, and the facts is, that Georgia had an easy schedule in 2023. We had an easy ass schedule in 2023. The only legit defense that we saw that entire season was in the SEC championship game against Bama. The other teams that we played, Tennessee's defense was weak that year. Auburn's defense, Auburn may have had the only decent defense. Auburn and Missouri. But remember, Missouri had injuries when we played them. Kentucky's defense was okay. But as far as elite pass rushers and an elite secondary, the only team that we saw with a good defense, and I'm including the Orange Bowl in this, the only team that we saw with a good defense was Bama in the SEC championship game. And Carson Beck had a terrible game that day. Salute to you, Clarence Banks Jr. I think Quinn is going to Ohio State. Beck might end up in Miami. I know Beck could end up in Miami. Quinn Ewers to Ohio State, not a good fit. And I would also include, as far as mobility, when the Big Ten has changed. The Big Ten is becoming more like Big Ten defenses are becoming more like the SEC, where they have fast linebackers and fast safeties. You need a mobile quarterback, a dual threat quarterback in the Big Ten and in the SEC. Carson Beck would do a hell of a lot better in the ACC and in the Big 12. He can in Miami. Miami has a pretty manageable schedule. I think their toughest game is going to be against Notre Dame. They have Notre Dame this season on their schedule. I don't know if they have Clemson or SMU. I'm sure they have Florida State. I have to actually take a look at Miami's schedule. Hurricane Andrew is in here. If you can take a look at the Miami schedule and type in, let me know, do they have Clemson or SMU this year? I know for a fact they have Notre Dame this year. I know for a fact they have Notre Dame this year. That would be the best QB in the ACC. Oh, yes. He could go to the ACC and kill it. So Miami, if I'm his agent, I'm urging him to go to Miami. Then his girlfriend is there. So that would be a lot more convenient. You play SMU and Florida. SMU and Florida, that's two L's there. Florida, you might be able to do something with SMU, but Florida's on a whole nother level. Florida's going to be a problem for a lot of teams. Florida's going to be a problem for a lot of teams. But 225 Girl says, I also heard Texas Tech could be a potential place for him as well. With 225 Girl, I think he could do that, go there and put up damn good numbers. But he's a Florida boy. He's a Florida boy. Miami would be the perfect landing spot for him. Perfect. Because his fiance is down there. So they'll be in the same space. It would be perfect for him. The ACC defenses are not as physical as SEC defenses. So he should If he's putting up 3,000 passing yards in the SEC, he should be able to put up 4,000 easily in the ACC, easily. So um, we put Bell to so 41-17. Hey, you know what, man? Hey, it's that ACC is going to be interesting. SMU is not going anywhere. SMU is going to be a problem because they have that oil money down there in Dallas. So they're going to be able to buy players and get players to come down there to SMU. Who wouldn't want to go to Dallas? Who wouldn't want to attend college in that city? That's a party town. Dallas is a party town. So who would not want to go there? Hurricane. That's over with, bro. Yeah, Lagway is a problem. Yeah, Hurricane, that ain't happening in 2025. I promise you that. This is a totally different Florida team. This is a totally different Florida team, brother. And it don't make no difference about the game being up there in Miami, in Hard Rock Cafe Stadium. That don't make a bit of difference to me because that Florida fan base, they travel very, very well. Yeah, Florida, in my opinion, I think they could be a potential playoff team this year. They've never made the playoffs. Never. They've never made the playoffs. I think this is the year that they finally crossed that threshold and become a playoff team. It came close in 2020, but I think this is the year that they get it done. I see at least a 9-win season, and I see some 9-3 teams getting in this year. Hurricane Andrew says Lagway played against Miami. Lagway, that wasn't the same Florida team, brother. That wasn't the same Florida team. He played, and he didn't play the entire game. He didn't play the entire game. As I remember, he didn't play the entire game. You know that. And when he did come in the game, he was moving that ball, and he was moving that ball on Miami. Okay, he's a freshman. He was to be. Hey, G Bama, I agree with you on that. The thing about it, me and G Bama, for y'all, for those that don't know, G Bama's a diehard Bama fan. We normally disagree on things, but we agree on this one. Florida is going to be a serious problem in 2025, and Auburn also. Those Auburn Tigers are going to be a problem also. But yeah, Miami, if he's choosing to go in the transfer portal, and if I was his agent, if I was his family member, I was advising him, I would have definitely advise him to go to Miami. I think that would be the perfect landing spot. Now, once again, in my opinion, and I'm standing on what I originally said, I think it's a risk. He's on Mel Kiper's board. It's going in the late first rounds, early second round. I would go on in the NFL and secure that spot in the NFL because the thing about it is, if he comes back, he has to have a monster year. He has to have a monster year in order to get anywhere near that first round draft status. And that's where the money is at. That's why, I've seen so many players overstay their welcome. Look what happened to JT Daniels. I believe if JT Daniels would have just went on in the draft after the 2021 season, even though he had injuries, he had enough on tape that would have impressed NFL scouts and NFL GMs. When he decided to come back that extra year at, I think it was at West Virginia, that just, his chances of getting in the NFL, that just, it killed it. It really did. So you can overstay your welcome. You can overstay your welcome in college, and that could come back to bite you. And plus, another thing, the age factor. The age factor. GMs, they don't like drafting older quarterbacks. They don't. They don't want their quarterbacks to have, too much wear and tear on the tread. So you also got to think about that as well. But he's whoever advised him to come back. He has his mind made up. He's going on into the portal, and I just think that out of all the destinations, that was brought to me, I think Miami would make uh, the most sense. Exactly. So, everyone, just let me know what you think in the comment section. What do you think? Do you agree with the decision? Do you agree with the decision for Carson Beck to come back for a sixth season, or do you agree with me? Do you think he should have just went on in the NFL? I think he's, aside and the here's why. Aside from the injury, a lot of NFL scouts and a lot of sports analysts, from what I'm hearing, they are they're not really holding him accountable for those interceptions. They're actually putting it on the Georgia receivers. They're actually blaming that. Well, Carson Beck had 12 interceptions, but Georgia had some terrible receivers. So this would be the perfect time for him to go on in the draft because yeah, he threw for 12 interceptions, but the sports analysts are blaming the Georgia receivers than Carson Beck. G. Bama, do you think mentally Beck is thinking he's not ready for the NFL life? Um, I think it's a paper chase. G. Bama, he don't believe that he will make the first round cut, so he's coming back to get that NIL money. Because think about it, if you're not getting drafted in the first round, you can actually come back and play college football and make more money in NIL money than you could on a rookie contract in the NFL. It's all about this right here. Hurricane Andrew said UJ was top 10 and drop balls. Well, you know what, Hurricane, you know who else was what other team dropped a lot of balls this season? The Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs, I think they are one of I think if I'm not mistaken, I think they're leading the NFL in drops. But even with those drops, Hurricane Andrew, he still threw for 3,485 yards. So if he threw for 3,485 yards, oh, those receivers can't be that bad. And I hear what everybody's saying. Yeah, the receivers say, yeah, and they dropped the ball. I saw it with my own eyes. But let's not act like let's not act like that that was the worst receiver core in the world because the man still passed for over 3,000 yards this season with a 64.7 completion rate. Now, were the receivers elite? Hell no. Were they good to mediocre? Yes. Were they terrible? No. Because if they were terrible, there's no way in hell that he would have passed for over 3,000 yards this season. I'm just saying. I'm just saying now. So, but hey, we'll see how it's going to play out. I'm telling you, we had, we had some fireworks in 2024. Boy, in 2025, we are this is turning out to be a hell of an off season. 2025 has turned out to be a hell of an off season, and I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to this season. So, well, what does this mean? That's why y'all hit the portal hard for why. Yes, yep, yes, yes, yes. But I still stand by my original comment, Hurricane Andrew. The receivers were not elite. They were somewhere between good and mediocre because the man still passed for 3,485 yards, and a lot of times he overthrew the receivers. He clearly overthrew the receiver, underthrew, overthrew. His he wasn't that accurate this year. He wasn't that accurate this year, brother. Y'all say, go pull the tape up now. Go pull the tape up. Now, can he get better? I think he can. But he needs to, I think he needs to, you know, get off the beach, stay away from the beach, tell his girlfriend, look, baby, I got to concentrate on my football. He needs to watch more film, go to a football camp, and work on his footing and his pocket presence and his pocket awareness and get better because his game digressed. His game regressed this year. It wasn't all on the receivers. I'm telling you as a Georgia fan, it wasn't all on the receivers. Carson Beck was his accuracy was not nowhere near what it was in 2023. The tape is there. The receipts are there. Go pull the tape up. Go pull the Clemson tape up. Go pull the Auburn tape up. Go pull the Mississippi State tape up. Go pull the Florida tape up, where he clearly was throwing into triple coverage, overthrowing and underthrowing the receivers. So the receipts are there. And for those Georgia fans, you still have a few Georgia fans that are concerned about Carson Beck, and saying Carson Beck is not this, Carson Beck is not that. The man almost passed for 300 yards against a damn good Notre Dame defense. First time starting a full football game in what, 3 years? Since the state championship game in high school. This notion that, that Gunner is not it. How do you know? Give the kid a chance. He only played one game and a half, which, in my opinion, from my eye test, he did pretty damn good against Texas and against Notre Dame. It's not his fault that the receivers dropped the ball. It's not his fault that Monroe Freeling was getting his ass kicked on the O-line and getting beat at left tackle. A quarterback can't drop back, pass the ball, run out and catch the ball his damn self. A quarterback can't throw the ball, catch the ball, and block for himself. I mean, come on. And some of you all just nitpicking. Thank you, Hurricane Andrew. And I hear that from a lot of fans, lot of fans from other fan bases. A lot of football people, experts, have said that Garner looked damn good in that Sugar Bowl. So I don't understand how some dogcasters are, defecating on Gunnar Stockton and saying that the Gunnar Stockton is not this and not that, not this, not that. I don't know what game you were watching, but from my eye test, he did damn good, in my opinion. And this notion that, well, if we would have had Carson Beck, if Georgia would have had Carson Beck, they would have won the game. Are you sure about that? I'll give you this. Maybe we would have beat Notre Dame with Carson Beck, but I'm going to be totally honest with you. I don't think we would have beat Texas in Atlanta with Carson Beck. I really don't. Because they had him shut down in the first half. They shut him down in the first half. I'm talking about before he got hurt, before he got injured. They shut him down. He only had, 58, 59 yards passing the entire first half. They shut him down. And remember, that was Texas defense, second time seeing Carson Beck. So they were ready for him. They were ready for him. So I'm going to be totally honest. I don't believe we would have even won the SEC had Carson Beck would not have gotten hurt and would have played that entire game. Because one thing about Kirby is never going to pull a quarterback. Carson Beck could have been throwing 9, 10 interceptions, and Kirby is not going to pull them. He's not going to pull a quarterback. Not that late in the season. He'll do it early in the season, but not that late in the season. He wasn't going to pull them. So That's where it at. That's just my opinion. Texas got a good defense. So yeah, Texas got a damn good defense. They got a damn good. You are absolutely right, Hurricane Andrew. And when Gunner came out there, remember the situation we was in. Remember the situation we was in. We lost our punter early in the third quarter. After that, after that, we only had to punt one time, and that's when we ran the fake punt. Other than that, we didn't have to punt anymore after that. Gunner moved the ball on that Texas defense a hell of a lot better than Carson did. 225 girls said also Carson confidence isn't strong. If the team plays well, his confidence is good. If the team struggles, his confidence shakes. Exactly. He can easily be rattled. And you know what, 225 girl, I just think his style of play, the stiffness, the poor pocket awareness and not being a dual threat quarterback, that's more for the ACC. He needs to be in the ACC with that. He's too slow for the SEC, for these SEC linebackers and these SEC defensive tackles. He needs to go to an ACC school where the defenses are not that fast and physical. He'll do well at Miami. Salute to you, Lisa Sims. Good evening. I find this interesting to see where he ends up. You going? I think Miami, Lisa, but I'm hearing Oregon, Oregon, Ohio State, Bama. I'm hearing, but I think 9 times out of 10 he'll end up in Miami because his fiance attends Miami. Yeah, Miami has a good old line. He needs to be somewhere where they have a good old line and some weapons. He needs, see, Carson Beck. He needs talent around him. He needs elite talent around him. He's not that quarterback where he can come in and make the receivers around him elite, to make the receivers around him look good. He need receivers in the O line to make him look good. That's what he needs. So I think Miami would be a good fit. But I think his style of play is just too slow, and the footwork it will not work in the SEC. It won't. It'll win you some games, but it will not win you the SEC championship. It won't. It didn't work in 2023, and I highly doubt if it would have worked in 2024. But we'll never know. We'll never know. But everyone, make sure you hit that like button. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with me? Do you believe he should have went on into the NFL? I think he should have. But we'll see how it turns out. I wish him well. This is the roll of the dice. This is the roll of the dice right here because you got 1 year to prove yourself. 1 year to prove to all of those NFL GMs that you are an elite quarterback. And history shows that guys that play 5 and 6 years in college, they go into the NFL and they don't last long. They don't last long. I'm just going off of history here. I think he was pretty hot right now, and the rule of thumb: when you're hot, go on into the NFL or go on into the pros while your name is hot. But we'll see. I could be wrong. Carson could be an exception to the rule. Who knows? Miami best receiver transferred to Bama. Miami best receiver transferred to Bama. Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh wow. It's gonna be interesting. If he did, then where would he? If he did, where would he have gotten drafted? You know what, Lisa Sims, Mel Kiper had him projected going in the late first round and somewhere in the early second round. And I do believe if he would have went on into the NFL, because one thing about the NFL, they have like quarterback specialists that work with the players, and they bring in specialists into the camps. Those offensive coordinators, and they have coaches that work strictly with the quarterbacks and the pros. I think if he would have got with the right coordinator, he would have been He would have been okay. He would have been all right. But I just think it's a risk coming back for one more year and risking injuries, more injuries or having a bad season. That's all I'm saying. It's a risk. It really is. Pushing 30 by the time he. That's what I'm saying. 225. The same knock that was on Michael Penix. The same knock that was on Michael Penix. The same knock that was on a lot of older quarterbacks when they came out. And Chris Winkie, Whedon, a couple of other course, Sam Bradford, a lot of other quarterbacks that came out that just, you overstay your welcome. I give you another one. I really do believe if Tim Tebow would have came out and went into the draft the year in 2008, the year that they won the national title, because he was hot that year. If he would have went on into the draft that year, he probably would have went first or somewhere in the top three, and would have went to a better situation than we went to in Denver. In Denver, they did not have anyone there that could develop quarterbacks. Well, Howard came back for one more year, and it's working out for him. And he is having more success than he ever would have been. But you know what, Lisa Sims? Everybody don't have no Jeremiah Smith in the Mecca of Buka. Lisa, Will Howard was blessed with Jeremiah Smith, okay, and a $20 million roster. Everybody don't get that lucky. But I'm gonna be honest with you. Will Howard, um, Will Howard is a pretty good quarterback. He's a pretty good quarterback. I think I think Chip Kelly's play calling in that Michigan game and in that Oregon game was kind of suspect. If he would have just came out, if he would have just called plays like he did in that Tennessee game and in that Oregon game, Ohio State would be undefeated. Ohio State should be undefeated. I mean, come on, everybody. Let's be honest. Let's be totally honest. Ohio State should be undefeated right now. And I said this last week, and I'll say it again this week. This week, Ohio State is the best two-loss team that I've ever seen in my lifetime. I'm serious. They are the best two-loss college football team that I've ever seen in my lifetime. I've never seen another two-loss college football team this talented, this loaded. So, Lisa, that's a different. That's everybody don't have a Jeremiah Smith on to throw to. Okay, that's different. Salute to you, Fantastic Max. Salute to you. Salute. You Bama boy. Now I was planning on doing a watch party this evening, but I got a couple of things have came up, so I'm gonna go ahead and give my prediction to this Orange Bowl tonight. I might do a post game reaction on it, but I'm not gonna do the because we have terrible weather coming in, and I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't want to be live and then get ambushed by an ice storm. That's the decision to go ground pound, which isn't really their style was a mistake. Exactly, 225 girl. G. Bama said Michigan clam Jeremiah Smith and OSU there. Well, G. Bama, everybody don't have a Will Johnson. You got to remember, man, Will Johnson is one of the most elite defensive backs in college football, bro. If he wouldn't have sustained so many injuries, man, he would have won the Thorpe Award easily. If Will Johnson wouldn't have been injured most of the season, he would have won that Thorpe Award, and it wouldn't even been close. He would have beat out Travis Hunter and that kid from Texas, Barron. It wouldn't have been close. Then watch that kid. Now he's going to have time to heal and get better. Watch what he does in the NFL. Watch what Will Johnson does in the NFL. He's going to be a shutdown corner in the NFL. Guaranteed. As long as he stay healthy. Smith said, yeah, we blessed with J.J. Smith. And I don't know if we didn't lose. You know what? I'm going to be honest with you, Lisa. I'm going to be honest with y'all. And I picked Ohio State back in August. I said Ohio State is the most loaded team in the nation. All right. I was hoping that my dogs would still win the national title regardless, but I knew Ohio State on paper is the most talented team in the nation. The only thing I'm worried about is Ryan Day. I'm just worried about Ryan Day messing it up. That's the if I'm an Ohio State fan, and G Bama, type in the chat, let me know how you tell me. Do you agree? If I'm an Ohio State fan, I'm only worried about one thing and one thing only: Ryan Day. I ain't more so worried about the team. I'm worried about Ryan Day. Because I'm going to be honest with you. That 2022 Ohio State team, honestly, y'all left one on the table. Y'all left one on the table. Because there's no doubt in my mind, if Ohio State could have got past Georgia, could have got past my Georgia Bulldogs, Ohio State would have beaten either TCU or Michigan. They would have beat either one of them. There's no way nobody could convince me that Michigan would have beat Ohio State twice that year. And nobody can convince me that TCU would have beat Ohio State. So I'm just saying, man, and remember that Peach Bowl game against my Georgia Bulldogs. Ryan Day got out coached by Kirby Smart. Ohio State had the better team. We just had the better coach. And he out coached Ryan Day. He outcoached Ryan Day. Ryan Day took his foot off the gas for whatever reason. For whatever reason, Lisa, CP3, y'all, I'm quite sure y'all watched the game. Ryan Day took his foot off the gas. They had a 2-touchdown and in a field goal lead on my dogs. And for whatever reason, he took his foot off the gas. Man, let me tell you how bad it was that night. I had already set up the live and the thumbnail, y'all. Early in the fourth quarter, CP3, I had already set up the live and the thumbnail. Ohio State takes down the Georgia Bulldogs. I had already set up the thumbnail and everything. Next thing I know, Stetson Bennett, A.D. Mitchell, Brock Bowers. We started coming back. I'm like, what? They quit blitzing and they went into playing zone. They started playing zone for some reason. I'm like, why are they playing zone? They started playing zone and they let us get back in the game. CP3 said, bro, who paid Noah Ruggles? See, let me explain something to you, CP3. When it comes down to football, when it comes down to football, it's two things you don't want to do. It's two things you don't never want to do. You don't never leave the game in the hands of the referee or put yourself in a situation where you leave it in the hands of the referee. And you never put yourself in a situation where you leave it in the hands of a field goal kicker. Because we've seen it time and time again. A field goal kicker, he could be killing it during the regular season, kicking 50-yarders, 60-yarders all season long and get in a playoff game and miss a 30-yarder or a 40-yarder. I'm just saying, man, we've seen it. We've seen it in college. We've seen it in the NFL playoffs, and we've seen it in the Super Bowl. Remember Scott Norwood? Scott Norwood was hitting 50-yarders, man. He was hitting field goals from midfield. Got in the Super Bowl and missed what it was, a 41-yarder? The Super Bowl now. Could have been a Super Bowl winning kick. Missed a 41-yarder. Them refs over there, man. Man, CP3, the referees, bro, you can't put on the referee, man. Ryan Day took his foot off the gas, bro. He took his foot off the gas, and y'all defensive coordinator, he went from playing man to playing zone. That's what killed y'all that night. That's what killed Ohio State that night, bro. Y'all took your foot off the gas, and that's something that he cannot do against Texas. He can't do that tomorrow night, bro. He got to keep when you get a lead on Texas, bro. He got this. He got to stay on their necks. He cannot take the foot off the gas because Texas got some explosive players. Isaiah Bond, Matthew Golden, they got their more dude. I'm telling you, bro. CP3, man, come on, quit it. Ryan Day messed y'all up, bro. Ryan Day messed y'all up because that didn't. Y'all was still up by 2 touchdowns in the field goal, bro. All y'all needed was one more field goal to put the game away, bro. All y'all needed was one more field goal to put the game away, man. Ryan Day took his foot off the gas. He went from being aggressive to playing. He was started calling conservative plays. And y'all started going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. And that's how we got back in the game, man. Come on, man. Blaming the referee. Oh, man. I'm telling you, bro, CP3, he left one on the table in 2022, bro. He left one on the table for y'all in 2022. And that's why I say, if I'm a Buckeyes fan, that's the only thing I'm concerned about tomorrow night. Ryan Day. 225 girls. OSU and Texas will come down to which coach can stay out of their own. Thank you. Exactly. That's what it's going to come down to. That's exactly what it's going to come down to. It's going to come down. It's going to come down to which coach can outcoach the other. That's what it's going to come down to. Now, let's talk about tonight, y'all. And here's why I'm picking Penn State. Because for this simple reason, see, Notre Dame has only been down in the game one time. And that was to Northern Illinois. And what happened? They lost. In all the other games they played in, they led. They've been in the lead. What will happen tonight if Penn State goes up by a touchdown or 10 points? Now, we saw what Penn State could do. Penn State has came from behind like several times this season and won games. Penn State has faced adversity, but Notre Dame has not faced no adversity. They got a Rourke. Rourke had an MCL, messed up NCL in the first round, and then they faced the Georgia team that had a backup QB, Gunnar Stockton, that was making his first start. This will be the first time that they have faced a seasonal veteran quarterback. And this will be the best O-line that they've seen all season. Penn State offensive line is better than Texas A&M, and it's better than Georgia's, in my opinion. This will probably be the best defense they've seen. I think Penn State's defense is a little better than Georgia's. Penn State's secondary is a little bit better than Georgia's. So this is going to be a challenge for Notre Dame. The only way Notre Dame is going to be able to survive this game, they got to take a lead and they got to keep it. But if they get behind Penn State, it's a wrap. They're not built to come from behind because they don't have a passing attack. Penn State can come from behind because they have somewhat of a passing attack. It ain't nothing like Oregon or Ohio State's, but they have a good enough passing attack where they can fall behind and come back off the arm of Drew Aller. And I trust Drew Aller to be able to bring them from behind more so than Leonard. So for that reason only, I'm rolling with Penn State. No doubt in this fight. But for obvious reason, I'm taking Penn State. No damn big game. Silence lately they need to read. Yeah, yeah. Teasing themselves into believing that they're better than what they really are. Well, really, they've just been lucky with Indiana and Georgia. They caught Indiana at the right time. Their quarterback was banged up, and Georgia was going with a backup quarterback and a backup punter. Simple as that. And Georgia pretty much that game in the Sugar Bowl was more about Georgia shooting themselves in the foot than Notre Dame beating Georgia. And them clowns over there at ESPN, they're making it seem like Notre Dame dominated Georgia. And if you actually look at the tape, if you actually watch the game for 60 minutes, that was not the case. They scored 17 points in 51 seconds. You take away those 17 points and the short fields and everything, then Notre Dame was kicking field goals the rest of the night. And that's not going to be enough against Penn State. You got to put up points to beat this Penn State team. That's why I'm taking Penn State. I'll come back tomorrow with my pick for tomorrow night. I've been going back and forth with the Texas and Ohio State game. I'm leaning more towards Ohio State for many, many reasons. But like I agree with 225 girl, it's going to come down to coaching. Will Ryan Day allow Steve Sarkisian to outcoach him? That's what it's going to come down to. So everyone, thank you all for coming out. Make sure you hit that like button on your way out. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe. Share the video as well. Too. If you like the video, share the video as well. And leave a comment in the comment section. What do you think? How do you feel about Carson Beck transferring? And if he does, where do you think his landing spot would be? I have a couple of them in the chat. I mean, on a ticker there: Miami, USC, Oregon. Bama has been thrown in there as well. What do you think would be a good landing spot for him, and how do you feel about him transferring? Should he have went on into the NFL and declared for the NFL? So, everyone, enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Be safe out there. Once again, our thoughts and prayers with the people in California dealing with those horrific wildfires. Um, to my sis together, she's out there in that area. If you're watching, if you're ghost watching, we love you. We're praying for you. If you need anything, don't hesitate. Make sure you give your big bro a call. You know your big bro got you. For everyone that's residing in the southeast area of the country, we have a terrible winter storm headed our way. Please get prepared. Make sure you stock up on water, canned goods, flashlights, batteries, lanterns, whatever, generators. Make sure you get prepared. Make sure you get prepared because they're saying this is going to be a terrible and big winter storm headed our way. So please be prepared. So everyone, enjoy the rest of your Thursday night. Enjoy your college football playoff game tonight. You know what? And I'm going to talk about this in the coming weeks. I really think that they should start the playoff games a week after the conference championship games. I think most of these, I don't think it's a good idea to go too deep into the month of January with these college football playoff games. I think they should play most of them in the month of December and have the championship, the semifinals. I'm sorry, the championship after New Year's. You don't want to be competing with the NFL playoffs and college basketball. You in the NBA, you don't want to be competing with all of that. Just my opinion. So, also leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know, what do you think? Do you agree with everything I just said, or if you disagree, also leave a comment in the comment section. So everyone, enjoy the rest of your Thursday evening. Love you all. Peace and blessings. See you all tomorrow night. I will be having a watch party for the Ohio State Texas game tomorrow night. So everyone, enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Love you all. Peace and blessings. King Me 305 said it should be like that. But the NCAA is about not making their money. Yes, but they're clashing. It's not a good idea for college football and college football playoffs and NFL playoffs to be clashing like that. Not a good idea. In my opinion, I think they should start the playoff games the week after the conference championships. Perfect. That would be perfect. You have that entire month of December of college football playoff games. All right, everybody, I'm getting ready to get on up out here. Thank you all. This has been the Dog Call, everyone. And like I always say, take care of yourselves and each other. And one more thing, no matter what, win, lose, or draw, whoever the quarterback is, whoever the coach is, it don't matter. Whoever the athletic director, the university president, whoever, it don't make no difference. It's always going to be go dogs. Sick 'em. Woo, 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 woo. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, everyone.